Alright, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Alright, y'all see what's going on here? As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all read the title under the thumbnail. Yeah, man, this video today is dealing with your boy Quavo and how Quavo shooter Migo was arrested and extradited back to Houston based around TakeOff untimely demise, and how Migo reveals it was the MobTies who actually shot TakeOff. As y'all see the thumbnail, yeah, man, so it looked like them people then finally arrested Quavo shooter Migo and extradited him back to Houston, pertaining to what happened with TakeOff at J.Prince private B-Day party. Now, check this out, man. I informed y'all not too long ago that a domino effect of arrests will be happening. Once J.Prince Jr. turned in his MobTies shooter, whom is Lil Cam, and Quavo turned in his shooter, whom is Migo. The reason why, because the first person turned in was gonna start talking. And once they bring in the next person, he gonna give a little more information. All they gonna do is get 3 of their stories, put them together, and get the big picture of what really happened. Now, at first, both sides were hesitant to turn in their shooters because they didn't want to be seen as guilty by even acknowledging the fact that someone on their team upped the blicky and sent up TakeOff. Now, I even informed you guys that J.Prince Jr. and his brother Jazz, they were brought in for questioning. I mean, they had to talk to the people who threw the party first. You know what I'm saying? And right after that, Lil Cam Fifth get arrested. Now, the people saying Lil Cam Fifth, he didn't get arrested based on what happened with TakeOff. That he got arrested pertaining to a blicky case that he had in a whole nother state. But I'm here to tell y'all, yes, he did. Lil Cam Fifth did get arrested based on what happened with TakeOff. And the people saying that he got arrested based on a whole nother case that he had out of state, that's the underlay for the overplay, man. And y'all know this. Because Lil Cam Fifth, he did get arrested pertaining to what happened with TakeOff. Because if that wasn't the case, his representation would have stated that whatever the people need to know about what happened with TakeOff at the private event, then they will be available to provide them with any information that they need to help solve the case. Now, y'all mean to tell me if Lil Cam Fifth didn't know nothing about what happened with TakeOff or the other 2 people who were shot at the private event, his representation wouldn't even put it out there. You understand? He wouldn't even let the people know that his client had some information based around what happened with TakeOff and the other 2 people that were shot. Now, at the same time, them people even have questions for Lil Cam about what happened with Duke the Jeweler and HTown. And if he knows anything or anyone who would have the motive to set up a jeweler out of Chicago. And with that, if he knew of some major jewelry purchases going down based on someone trying to get off Duke jewelry for wholesale. But like I told y'all before, man, the Pops is paying off those people because he knows his son's MobTies affiliates allegedly set up Duke after the concert and made it seem like it was all Boosie. But before we get into it, as always, let's first pay our respects and say rest in peace to TakeOff, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in the ATL. Quavo, Offset, Lingo, y'all stay up out there, my guys. That's real talk, man. Same thing goes for Chicago's own Duke the Jeweler. Rest in peace to Duke the Jeweler, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in Chicago, man. I told y'all, hey, they families want answers ASAP, not just from HPD, from J.Prince and his son's MobTies affiliates, because they know they family was invited out to HTown to check in, and not only check in, they will have the proper security and the proper people on deck to make sure that they cool, to make sure that they safety and protection is first. But yeah, man, like I told y'all, it seemed like Duke and TakeOff, they got the opposite. Even the people who were invited out. Again, y'all got to understand, that was J.Prince Jr. invitation list that he sent out. So at the same time, not only does he have to apologize to Duke the Jeweler and TakeOff, he also have to apologize for what happened with the other 2 people. One is critical and the other one got sent up right along with TakeOff. Now Lil Cam, he informed them people he knew nothing about Duke the Jeweler, even though there's pics floating around social media of J.Prince Jr., Lil Cam, and Duke hanging out. Was the same time that Boosie did a walkthrough at a club out there in Houston, because J.Prince Jr. finessed 2 times, Duke and Lil Cam was right along with them guys. So after Lil Cam told them he knew nothing about Duke the Jeweler, he instantly told them people about DJ Pat and him having a blicky inside the private event. Even with them catching DJ Pat, the folks still want to know, how did them people know where DJ Pat was at? I mean, how did they really know that DJ Pat was on his way to Mexico? Now, Lil Cam Fifth, he wouldn't knew that. But the fact is, I do keep hearing J.Prince, he has close ties with those people. And y'all already know the people I'm talking about, man. That's the reason why his sons is not getting arrested or they not getting looked into, especially if they the ones that's planning these events. They supposed to be the first people of interest and brought in for questioning. Yes, they were brought in for questioning, but they were not the first people of interest. Because like I told y'all, man, because how much negative attention is coming their way, the Pops is doing everything in his power to try to steer the narrative that they sons had nothing to do with it. But it's the people that's affiliated with them. Yeah, he could say all that, but the people still gonna look at the MobTies as J.Prince Jr. and his brother Jazz, not all these other individuals. You understand? If the people that's associated with you get into any type of BS, it's going to automatically go to you. That the people going to blame you for any wrongdoing that come from your camp. But again, like I stated before, man, that's the narrative that the Pops is trying to control right now. So right now, DJ Pat is telling them people he innocent. He had nothing to do with TakeOff untimely demise because he wasn't even near TakeOff. He said he was on the other side of the room. And at the same time, they need to be paying attention to Migo Benz and Lil Cam. Them folks ain't only talking about what happened with TakeOff. You have two other people that were hit. One in critical condition and the other one got sent up the same day with TakeOff. And they families want answers from HPD pertaining to what happened and who did it. And we could even go back to Chicago's own Duke the Jeweler. His family is pressing the issue on why no major arrest has occurred based around Duke being set up in Houston, and at the same time, have they tracked down the $1 million worth of missing jewelry. But let's go back. This video was based on Quavo shooter Migo Benz being arrested and extradited back to Houston to see what he knows pertaining to TakeOff untimely demise. And at the same time, what was Migo Benz's intent on upping his blicky? And if he feels he's not guilty or wrong by doing his job, and that was to protect Quavo and TakeOff, then why go into hiding? My opinion is the only reason why Migo Benz went into hiding because the people had automatically placed him as being guilty. So he was scared. And the best thing to do is to hide out because he don't want a bunch of people going after him and his family if he really had nothing to do with it. But it still points back to the fact that J.Prince Jr. and his MobTies affiliates, they got some explaining to do, and that's real.
Yeah, plus I know y'all heard, they saying that J.Prince Jr. and Trey Songz, they got into a little scuffle. Yeah, man, I know it happened a couple months ago, but it's just showing all the different activities that J.Prince Jr. be involved in, that he had no reason to. And with that, they saying Trey Songz put a two-piece combo on that boy, man. Even though Trey Songz got them hands, it shows that J.Prince Jr., he don't need to be involved in no type of activity, especially pertaining to some fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying? Because now we seeing, you know what I'm saying, J.Prince Jr., he do a lot of talking, but he can't back it up. You got guys like 6ix9ine going at you, and Chief Keef producer, Young Chop. Come on, man. Y'all remember, they was both calling that boy out. I believe they was letting most of us know, especially outside of Houston, that J.Prince Jr., he's not as tough as he claimed to be. Yeah, and if we look at the big picture, I believe the folks in Houston is looking at J.Prince Jr. sideways because his pops already generated enough income and resources that instead of creating a team of guys that's getting into all type of criminal activity, you could be linking up with some bankers, financial advisors, well-respected mentors, professions that could advance the thought process of those impoverished communities in Houston and across the cities and the states. We not saying you're not doing that, but that's not what the people are seeing. Again, we seeing the total opposite because what happened with TakeOff and Duke the Jeweler, let alone other people that was at these private events, should have never happened. Now, we tip our hat off to you did your thing with Finesse 2 Times. So when you looked out for Finesse 2 Times, that was well respected. You know, that's how you provide somebody with your resources for them to get on. And we seeing Finesse 2 Times, he had a plan, he got his foot on the gas, and he ain't letting up. So with that, y'all know he not about to let J.Prince Jr. and his MobTies guys get in his way, especially not with none of this goofy activity that's going on. But what we are seeing is because of J.Prince Jr. activities, it is limiting Finesse 2 Times mobility when it comes to making money in the ATL. But y'all see, they got Lil Cam, Migo Benz, and DJ Pat. And y'all know these guys about to do some talking. And with that, more arrests will occur.
Hey, but we got more in store. But as always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.